With Spaceman Sam and eBikes USA, we're going to be going over this Super73 RSD edition, which is going to be like the RX, but with some extra features, a few little changes here and there. Let's start out with this beautiful frame. It's going to be made out of 6061 aluminum alloy with a 1.5-inch tapered head tube. You're going to get a 750 watt rear hub motor that's going to be gear driven, brushless gear drive. You're going to peak around 2,000 watts fully unlocked. This bike is going to have an update through OTA that will allow it to peak around 2,300 watts. Top speeds as it comes right now are 20 miles an hour. Once it's unlocked, it can do 28, and then completely off-road mode will do 28 plus. You're going to have this 960 watt hour battery using 21,700 cells. And that's going to be 20 amp hours that you can get anywhere from 35 to 70 miles of range. The total weight on this is going to be right around 84 pounds. The front hub up here is going to have 150 millimeter through axle. And it's going to be sporting these 20 by 100 millimeter alloy with lightning cutouts. And when I say lightning, I meant to say like these are to lighten the actual weight of the wheel. So that's why they cut those out. The tires on the front are going to be 20 by 4.5, and the tires on the rear are going to be 20 by 5, and they're going to be the Grizzly style. The brakes are going to be Tektro HD E730 brakes, front and rear. And this front suspension is going to be an inverted coil spring fork with adjustable preload and rebound dampening. This is going to be a Fox Float 3 Evol shock with adjustable main and Evol air springs. Very comfortable, absorbs a ton of those bumps. It's going to have your regular LCD display with the app, horn, thumb throttle, lots of little gold accents all throughout the bike, on the pedals, on the chain itself. This is iOS and Android compatible with the app. The headlight is going to be a Roxxam Z4E Elite, which is going to produce 600 lumens. And you're also going to have that tail light as well, which is going to be a Roxxam too. Charger that comes with this bike, it's going to be a 3 amp hour charger, but they do have an optional for 5 amp. The 3 amp hour can charge in 6 to 7 hours, the 5 amp in 3 to 4. You are going to have 4 modes of pedal assist, which are going to be Eco, Tour, Sport, and Super. 120 millimeter sealed bearing bottom bracket, square taper. 125 millimeter alloy crank arms with a 36 tooth chainring in the front and a 16 tooth cog in the back. There is an option for a 44 tooth where you could throw on a 10-speed gear shifter. The seat height on this bike is going to be right around 32 inches. And the total weight capacity will be right around 325 pounds. Some of the nice little additions on this bike, obviously the number plate. This long extended RSD seat. Relocated battery with some really cool graphics. It's all around a really slick looking bike. Performance isn't mind-blowing, it isn't super different from all the other ones, but all around just aesthetically and suspension-wise, this bike performs a little bit better. But I like it. Is it worth $5 grand? Let's find out. A little bit off-road. Oh yeah. This bike is gonna do good anywhere you ride it, honestly. Like if you ride it on the streets like this, it can eat anything, any curb you throw at it. Just all around, this thing is a beast. Like Let's start with the pros. The RSD extended seat is really nice. I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels. Gives you a lot more space on the bike to ride. The Fox rear shock is honestly my favorite upgrade on this entire bike. You can definitely tell a difference compared to their coil shock. The unique graphics on this bike, from the forks, headlight, battery, frame, the actual plastics. The battery relocation, it's going to give you a little bit better weight distribution because that weight is lower to the ground instead of it being on top. I do like a lot of the gold details on the pedal, on the chain, on the grips. Let's go over some of the cons on this bike. One thing that I noticed pretty quick, this master link right here, it's a little bit thicker than the rest of them. And as you're coming through the crank, coming around, it rubs on the front of the crank. And then coming back around, it gets kind of nicked just a little bit by this chain tensioner. So that can be kind of annoying when you're pedaling it. There's no difference in brakes from the RX. They were originally going to be putting Maguras on here, which I was very excited about. I love Magura brakes. They're really solid, really awesome. But they ended up just throwing Tektros on here. Same size, battery, motor, speed controller, electronics are all the same. I wish they would have done some sort of upgraded version, or I wish they would have put a normal seat and put a second battery right there, just to really justify the value, in my opinion. The plastics on the side do look cool, but if you dump this bike, these do feel pretty flimsy. They would break pretty easily if you do drop this bike. Overall, this is a great bike. It's very fun to ride, and this bike is going to be for someone who really wants a unique, rare, and special edition that Super 73 has to offer. If you could care less about the aesthetics and you just want the performance, you're better off just getting the RX, the R, or even the S2. But if you're like really committed to the Super 73 brand and you want something unique, rare, that not a lot of people have and not a lot of people can get right now, this is a great option.